Alright, so in this video we're going to show you how to use JavaFX. So the most important thing that you need to know is you must have JDK 1.8. Okay, so and get the latest version. Okay, so download JDK 1.8 latest one. Now you have to configure your Eclipse. Okay, to use the latest JDK that you download. By default, they may already have JDK, but it will not work until you configure that. So, and then I'm going to show you those, and then we're going to write your first GUI application, graphic user interface, okay, with JavaFX. All right. So when you create your new Java project, so let's say JavaFX user authentication program, right? You're going to make sure right click and go to build path. Okay, like assuming that you already have JDK latest version downloaded. If you don't know how to do, just Google download JDK, go to Oracle website and install the latest one. Now after you install that, the location should be in computer, C, program files, Java. So this is where I want to write JDK 1.8_60. That's the update latest version. So this is the path where I want to configure my new project. Like I said, if you don't do that, you may run into a lot of issues. So, like by default, I already have it configured, but for mine, okay, because I did only once. Normally when you did only once, it's going to work for the rest, but most likely you need to do that, and I want to show you how to do that. So you're going to do add the library here, JRE system library here, and use the alternate JRE and click on, like I already have that, that's why it's pop up JDK. For your normally it's going to be something else if you never set it up. It's going to be default for Eclipse. So I click install JRE and add. Okay, standard VM, and just the path that I just shown you earlier, I copied that. So that's it. So that's going to link, but now I already have it, so that's why I said it already exists. In your case, you're going to have to hit finish, okay, and then make sure you check on this to use it, and because it's going to have the other one, you can just technically remove the other one that you don't use, and make sure you switch to JDK that you just used, install it. See, we have the second one up. Like now, like I said, I already have it, so I can just remove one out. And that should do. So if you don't do that, you will run into issue like you cannot run JavaFX. So make sure you do that, because it depending on the library that you import. Remember, when you do doing JOptionPane, you have to do import JOptionPane, correct? So let's see, for example, if I want to use the JOptionPane to display this, so we need to, you see that Eclipse just import that. So that's why JDK 1.8 has JavaFX for you, so we have to make sure we get the latest edition of JDK. The older one, they don't have it because JavaFX is kind of new. Alright, so now let's review the loop a little bit, and you know what? Let's do that later. I still want to focus on JavaFX here. Alright, so now we have an empty, right? So we're going to create a new class. So we're going to create a first GUI. So let's name it, okay, authentication GUI. I'm going to include a main. Alright, so let's look at an example of JavaFX code that I have here. So make it simple, the hello world program first. Okay. So let's talk about package. Okay, we never learned what's package. So package is pretty much where you want to put your files. Okay, it's just like you create another folder for it. Like for example, if I go to this path, see the package is pretty much the folder name button sample. See that? So if you look at authentication GUI, let me go to that path again. So if I go back to workspace, JavaFX user source, see that there's no package for that, no folder for it. Under source, it's just like there. Like if I want to create a package is where you try to categorize your files, like put into folders. So this is okay, like maybe the way to name package, we like to name it like edu, like the organization, education, NBCC, CSC 200. Okay, and this is JavaFX, something like that. So that's the location where it's going to create a folder, edu, NBCC inside another folder. So they're going to be 4 folders. Okay, and put this file inside that last folder, which is JavaFX. Now if I move that, it's going to move into the package name. So that's pretty much the package. Now if you want to look at, so you see that it just moved my authentication GUI into those folders. So that's pretty much the package to organize your files. Okay. Now let's take a look at the hello world code for JavaFX first. So we need JavaFX application. Okay. Like last time I showed you, if you're dealing with applets, you extend what JApplet, right? To make it as the applet. So this is just an app. JavaFX like an app application. So we just extend application. So when you extend application, like I said, if you don't do configuration that I shown you before to the latest JDK 1.8, you're not going to be able to access to this JavaFX package. So you have to pick the right import. Okay, we're dealing with JavaFX. Alright, so now we just make this as an app now. It's turned to be an application. So that's something that you need to implement. Okay, so that is the method name start. Okay, so that's why if you hover the mouse, there's an error here. It said you need to add an implemented method, which is the .start right there. Right, so it's required that you have to implement start. Okay. So now we have 2 methods so far, right? One is the main, one is the start. Okay, because when you want to use application, you need to implement it, and to implement it, I just show you hover the mouse. This is Eclipse, but if you use the VI, you pretty much just need to type them manually. Okay, so let's talk about this annotation name override. So when you extend, that means you turn your authentication GUI to be a part of the application class. The application class already have the method start. So what we try to do, we just try to override that method by implementing the code in here in a way that we want it to look. Okay, so that's why we just put override. Okay, it's not really required, you can just take it out, but it's always good to leave it back in like that to verify that we actually try to override the start method of the application. Okay, that's what I try to tell you. Why? Because if you remove this out, my intention is I need to override start method of application. If I happen to spell like wrong typo, then that's an error. So that's why if you put override, it's going to verify it for you. Let me put it back. It's going to verify, the compiler is going to verify, hey, you need to override, you happen to make it, you see the mistake, must override. So that means then I notice that, hey, I spelled wrong, then it's fixed the problem. So that's why override is just another level to verify your typo. Alright, so now at this point I don't need you to worry about what is this. Okay, it's just something that to handle an errors when you start the application. Okay, so it's always just like when I start teaching you, just say public static void main, don't worry about that. This one is just the same, start, and you have stage inside those exception. Okay, so let's talk about stage. Okay, so if you look at JavaFX tutorial, they should have an images. Let's talk about, yeah, this is like an application JavaFX. So this is the stage. Okay, the window itself, like the whole window that we see here, right? So that's going to be a stage with minimize, right? Resizing, close. So this is called stage. And we need a scenes. Okay, this is just like when you look at a show, there's a stage and there's a scene, right? So and then you have to put the scene on the top of stage, and you're going to have the panel or pane here, or the buttons if you want to create the buttons, or text field or anything on the top of the scenes and on the top of the pane. Okay, so that's how we organize it. Alright, so now switch back. So we need to see, we already we want to start a stage. So I'm going to name this as a primary stage, right? Okay. Now this seems like it's not required, so you don't have to worry about that. So we can just take it out. It's auto-generated by Eclipse. Now the key point is you need, like I said, we have the stage. We need something to put on the stage. So let me just run this one real quick to see what we get. So we're not seeing anything. So we make sure that we have to make it visible by say .show, and just rerun it again. Okay, title of the window is like that. Okay, so we can just say the primary stage dot set title.